Most people approach attraction like it's some kind of performance, right? They think it takes all this effort, acting confident, saying that perfect witty thing, basically just doing more to grab someone's attention.
And honestly, that belief is often the very thing that prevents attraction from happening naturally. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of the whole mechanism. You can pour all the energy in the world into being charming, but it works against you.
It signals a sort of desperation.
Exactly. Kind of internal desperation.
Okay, so let's unpack this for everyone listening. If attraction doesn't respond to effort or performance, the things we're constantly told to focus on, what does it actually respond to?
It responds to regulation. That's the key. What we call chemistry. That, undeniable pull. It's really just one nervous system recognizing safety and familiarity in another. It's the body saying, I can finally relax here.
Right. Or maybe, this feels like something I've been missing. So, if we're moving beyond simple flirting tactics and rehearsed lines, our mission for this deep dive is to explore those silent signals. The things that happen beneath the neck, why your body reacts before your mind even processes what's going on. And I think that brings us to the core conflict. Is it intensity, or is it safety that really drives connection?
And what's so fascinating is that the answer is completely in your body's history, because attraction doesn't start with words. It starts when one nervous system feels safer next to another.
Let's start at the very foundation then, the nervous system hierarchy. You're arguing attraction starts there, not with shared hobbies or some meticulously crafted personality.
Absolutely. The most critical factor in any interaction is the level of internal regulation you bring to it. Think of it like a biological tuning fork.
Okay.
Whoever is more grounded, calmer, and, more regulated in that moment, they naturally lead the interaction. They set the unconscious emotional tone for both people.
And this is where our past comes back to haunt us, or maybe to help us. That life experience dictates what our system registers as attractive now. So, tell us more about what you call trauma imprinting.
This is a massive aha moment for so many people. If you grew up around emotional chaos, unpredictability, high volatility, dramatic highs and lows, your body learned a deeply damaging lesson.
What's that?
That intensity is the same thing as connection. This learned pattern it's the operational definition of trauma bonding.
So, the body is already primed for that high-stress environment. And when it finds a similar dynamic in an adult relationship, that push-pull, that chaos, it interprets the familiar feeling of high adrenaline as what? Intimacy?
It feels like home, if home was turbulent.
Wow.
Precisely. When things are unpredictable, you get this massive spike of dopamine. It's exhilarating. But at the same time, your cortisol, the stress hormone, is rising, flooding your system with anxiety.
And the body just confuses that feeling.
It misinterprets that high anxious energy as attraction. It's a powerful and frankly a painful loop to be stuck in. Most people confuse intensity with attraction, but intensity is often just trauma looking for familiarity.
So, if I'm trained on that intensity, wouldn't something slow and grounded feel, boring? How does the body even learn to recognize safety?
That's the critical pivot.
Yeah.
We have to introduce the two types of attraction explicitly. You have dopamine attraction on one side and oxytocin attraction on the other.
Dopamine, that's the chase.
That's dopamine. The excitement, the tension, the chase. It's the exhilarating spike followed by the inevitable crash. It's loud.
And then there's the quiet alternative.
Yes. Subtle, secure attraction is parasympathetic. It's your rest and digest state. It's slow, it's consistent, it's grounded. This is oxytocin attraction. It's all about slow, trust, consistency. That's where true nervous system syncing happens.
So, when someone is genuinely calm around you, especially if you come from a background of, emotional noise, what physically happens inside your system?
Your nervous system receives explicit permission to rest. And for a system that's been conditioned by chaos, Rest feels profoundly intimate. It's a powerful, nonverbal validation that says, you don't need to fight here.
And that's the aha moment.
That is the aha moment. People chase that dopamine rush because they often haven't learned what true unanxious safety even feels like. Your body relaxes, your breathing slows, you stop performing.
So dopamine excites and pulls you into drama, while oxytocin bonds and grounds you in reality.
And it never arrives with frantic energy. Real attraction is quieter. It's oxytocin.
Okay, let's shift from the internal chemistry to the external signals that communicate the safety. Let's start with the most primal cue, eye contact.
Right. Most eye contact we see isn't actually connecting. It's anxious. It's checking or demanding reassurance. It's the physical version of anxiety asking, am I okay right now? Do you approve of me?
And that anxious, darting eye contact just keeps the cortisol running, doesn't it? It never lets the system sync up because one person is constantly seeking something.
Exactly. Secure eye contact, on the other hand, it offers presence. It's stable. It's non-demanding. It doesn't seek validation. It simply rests in the moment. Secure attraction is quiet, but it's the kind that stays longer. Eye contact stops demanding and starts allowing.
And offering that stable presence releases oxytocin, which grounds the connection instead of just spiking it. You're not trying to be chosen.
Because you're already choosing yourself.
That leads perfectly into the role of silence. What happens when the space between two people is just allowed to exist? For people who experienced emotional abandonment, silence can be terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. For those individuals, silence once meant disconnection. It was the signal that they were about to be left or ignored. So, the body internalizes this, and as a defense, they learn to fill the space. They rush to explain, they perform, they overshare, anything to avoid that void.
But the ability to hold silence, what you call containment, that's a massive signal of emotional adulthood.
It signals security. Emotional leadership. When you're contained and you don't rush, you communicate a really powerful, soothing message. I am stable. I don't need to prove myself here. And then the silence becomes comfortable.
Right. Because when someone else is calm and doesn't need me to perform, it allows my own system to slow down and trust, which just reinforces the core idea. Safety is the absolute precondition for desire.
It is. If the body doesn't feel safe, no amount of dazzling performance is going to generate genuine lasting desire. Effort is just wasted.
Let's talk about the mechanics of physical connection, somatic synchrony. This happens before emotion even registers, right?
We're all non-conscious conductors constantly exchanging these regulatory signals. Our mirror neurons, these amazing cells in our brains, they copy the posture, the breathing rhythm, the overall pace of the person we're with.
So if I consciously ground myself, maybe I slow my speech and deepen my breath just a little, the listener's body will naturally try to sync with my rhythm.
It's a form of regulation through presence. When you're grounded and slow, their body attempts to follow, subconsciously seeking that regulation. This is why being genuinely present, not just pretending to listen, but being deeply anchored in your own body, is so magnetically attractive. It's not a technique, it's a fundamental biological process.
That's fascinating. So, attraction is less about what you say and more about the physiological state you hold. But here's where the journey toward erotic maturity begins, and where I think a lot of people stumble. They confuse desire with the need for certainty.
Yes, they want desire, that spark, but they demand fusion. They mistake deep wanting for a deep need, for attachment. And the problem is, attachment, in this context, kills polarity.
Explain that mechanism for us. How does attachment extinguish the very desire it was supposed to fulfill?
Well, when attachment takes over, you lose the space between two people. You create fusion, not friction. Desire needs space and tension to travel across. It requires two distinct entities. If you fuse your identity with the other person, there's just nowhere for the desire to go.
The signal of erotic maturity then is desire without need.
Exactly. The attitude you communicate non-verbally through your actions and your presence is, I choose you. I genuinely want you and I'm delighted by you, but I don't need you to survive or to validate me or to complete me. That self-possession is immensely attractive.
And that self-possession is often expressed through boundaries, key 7,
Yeah,
which are so misunderstood. People see them as walls meant to keep people out.
right. But they're better understood as edges. They just define where you end and where the other person begins. They aren't about rejection, they're about definition.
And edges are crucial because they create tension.
And tension creates desire. That's the rule. No boundaries means no polarity, and no polarity means no attraction. Desire exists in the space between two whole-defined individuals. You're choosing without attachment.
Okay, let's synthesize the core idea for everyone listening. Subtle attraction is not something you do. It's not a set of actions or magic words.
It's something your nervous system communicates before your mind ever understands why. It's the silent signal of safety, of self-possession, of grounded presence, and that's the signal most people miss.
And here is the difficult truth that most people avoid. When this underlying nervous system safety, the self-regulation is absent, no flirting technique, no forced confidence, no performance can ever truly replace it. It's the prerequisite for everything else.
Which means the real work of attraction isn't done externally by impressing others. It's done internally by learning how to ground and regulate yourself first.
So we ask you to reflect not on what you are performing in your next interaction, but what your body is communicating when you are silent and present. What familiar patterns, what intensity is your nervous system still chasing? And how might that be blocking the durable, quiet attraction you truly deserve?